This episode of St James's Pod is brought to you by Vixen Hair. The extension specialists have 2 locations here in Brisbane, as well as a mobile service. So if you're looking to achieve the hairdo of your dreams, look no further than vixenhair.com.au and tell them St James's Pod sent you. Enjoy the episode. Another episode, another win, another 3 points, and another 4 goals for Newcastle United. Welcome back to St James's Pod. I'm joined by Pete Ord and Alex Dawson. Tom's away for this one. Boys, what's your general feeling at the moment with Newcastle United and that game?
The champions!
We're in the top 3, lad.
How could you not be fucking happier? Absolutely buzzing. Little stat for you. This time last year, we're in the bottom 3. Now we're in the top 3. Flying, lads. Flying high.
What a year. We should do a little stat from Pete every week.
Oh, it's a normal size stat for everyone.
Yes, fucking knew that was coming. Normal size stat. Read you like an open book, mate. Fuck's sake.
Dawes, you've been at 5-a-side. How's that going, mate? Looking a bit red.
By a goal, mate. Fucking disgusting. Absolutely
disgusting.
Right, well, the result of that game saw Ralph Hasenstrudel sacked.
Who?
Was that any...
Hasenstrudel.
Hasenstrudel. That's my nickname.
Hasenstrudel, mate.
Yeah, I know his real name. I don't know about you, but like, I don't generally take that much pleasure in like a manager getting sacked or anything like that. But with this guy last year, how much whining he did about the fact the game got postponed and saying like we basically faked it to get signings in and stuff. Yeah, kind of couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, could it?
Yeah, he's petty, isn't he? Like, where you go, it's just pathetic, really. I think he's been on a knife's edge for fucking God knows how long, but he'll just pull a little win out the bag, like he'll beat fucking Liverpool or something like that. Stupid.
Yeah.
Like it happens all the time, which it would have saved him, but I think they've actually got Liverpool next, and I was thinking to myself, if he doesn't go the day, it wouldn't surprise us if he comes out and beats Liverpool before the World Cup, and then his fucking job saved. Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
you know, it's came to an end now, so I think it was sort of inevitable after a tanking from Eddie's Mags.
It's just mad that like you can lose 9-0 twice as manager of the same team, and it's losing to the Mags, which finishes you off.
At home.
Like, yeah. But yeah, they're on the bottom 3, so as we're seeing from the game, they look a bit out of ideas. They're looking a bit flat. They look like they need a change. Yeah. They're going to get that. Looks like they're going to get the Luton manager in. They're already speaking to him, I think.
Yeah, that's strange, that, I think.
Oh, really?
I don't know much about him, I'm going to be honest. Obviously, he's doing a cracking job with them.
It's obviously prime time to get one in, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big step up, though, like, especially in the bottom 3.
Yeah, it'll be a tough challenge for him. But with Hasenstrudel, he made some odd subs for me, and I don't know. We'll get into the game anyway in a minute. But first of all, the team lineup. Oh, actually, just a shout out, seeing as we like to do birthday shout outs now after the success of the one to Sean last week. It was Elliot Anderson's birthday.
20 years old.
20 years old. Happy birthday, Elliot. Still young. So the lineup, boys. Basically, was it just Murphy came in for
Julian?
Yeah,
suspension.
Joe suspended, wasn't he? Yeah. Big call, mind. With Maxi being fit.
Yeah, what did you think when you saw the lineup?
Well, yeah, there is that, isn't it? What's the point? Yeah, I mean, just
think we all had a feeling that. Yeah, Murphy was being in decent form when he came into the side, so he's not upsetting the apple cart too much by starting him this week.
It's not that he's done anything wrong either.
well,
Do you know what I mean? I mean, he's
been playing well recently.
Past few games he's came on shifting and stuff, hasn't he? But
if we get into the game, he started quite well for me. There was like the first 5 to 10. He whips a ball in with his left foot, like a first time ball, which you don't often see from our wingers with us playing like inverted wingers. He's quite far out. He's almost like corner flag, and he just whips a ball in with his left foot, and it almost comes to a heading chance for Wilson. I thought, oh, he's looking bright. Obviously that tailed off, but
went downhill.
I don't know.
You're going to slate him when we haven't got Page here to defend him.
Yeah, that's proper.
Page is going to listen to this back, fucking bastards.
No, to be fair, I don't really want to slate him that much because he's been playing well, but it wasn't his best game, was it? But yeah, the handball shout on 25 minutes. Do you guys remember this? Miggy like flicks it. He like comes inside. He's in the box, obviously. Flicks it. No handball for you?
Nah, never a handball, mate. Screaming all
too close to the body.
Massive appeal, but it was too close to the body. It was down by his side. Nah, you're never gonna get that.
Yeah,
but it does like it's not like it was an innocuous thing. Like Miggy would have got past him if it wasn't for his arm like stopping the ball.
Yeah, definitely.
So you can't argue. Like his arm was in like by his side. You're right. You can't really argue too much either way about it. You're not going to get it
by his side. Yeah, because by his side, what you going to do? Can't move, can he? Sort of, and no chance.
Yeah, I think the thing's natural. It's like in a natural position, in it. Like you can't chop his arms off. So I agree. Like I agree. Miggy's like got the right to appeal for it, and to him, he probably. It goes that fast. He just sees it hit his arm, and like he's going to be screaming at the ref.
Yeah,
but
definitely. Yeah.
When you look at it back, I think that was a good call by the ref. To be honest,
it went to VAR though, didn't
but
it?
Then,
it took. To be honest, I think it took a little bit more time than I thought it should. For how obvious it was. Yeah, I was like, it takes a second to see that's not a pen. Like,
yeah. I wonder if they were checking like offside on the build-up because it was quite tight for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on to Miggy's goal.
Another one?
Another fantastic.
You're joking. Another one?
Another one? Yeah, I don't know. Who wants to take this? Talk us through the goal. What your thoughts were. But it's another fantastic one, isn't it?
That's a really composed finish. I think there's an element of luck to it. Obviously, the defender comes flying in, completely misses it, but he stays composed. He just rounds the defender on the floor, and then he just slots it home. It's really composed finish, I think. So fair play to him. Like, he's at it again. You can't stop him.
That the only 1 foot he's got. That's all he needs.
Aye. Doesn't need another one.
I think you're right with the look. I think they were. I can't remember who was on presenting on Sky Sports. I know it was Souness and was it Janus? I can't remember. I mean, Souness wasn't having any of it, but they were saying that.
I heard some South African fans, so I'm not sure.
I don't know if it was Redknapp. I think Redknapp might have said that he thought he meant to dink it round. Was it Maitland-Niles that came diving in?
No, he wasn't on the pitch with then, was he?
I think it was.
He was using something.
He started, didn't he?
Then he moved to
but I think they're saying, he dinked it round him, he anticipated it coming, but I think you're right. I think it was pure luck that it just landed to him. Hey, you need to ride your luck in these games, don't you? You know what I mean? So you're not going to complain about it, but a nice composed finish. So yeah, the ball rolls on for Miggy.
Yeah. I don't think he meant necessarily to like flick it round him like that, but I think the way he like shapes his body up and everything puts the defender down. So you could argue like he's meant to draw the defender in, and then he just rides the the luck in the fact that the ball rolls, it like carries on into his own path.
Yeah.
But I want to just mention as well Wilson's part in that, like in the build-up. I think the goal actually comes from Kieran Trippier intercepting a ball. He wins like the aerial duel with his left winger, whoever that was. And then Longstaff picks it up, plays it into Wilson, and he shows his strength with the centre-half who's on him. And it's that bit of strength that leads to the ball coming out to Miggy, and then he just does the rest. Because I didn't think Wilson had his best game, probably due to the fact he was carrying a bit of illness. But
Yeah.
that was a great bit of centre-forward play, so...
Gets stuck in, doesn't he? He's not afraid to get stuck in at all, Wilson.
Oh, he loves it. He absolutely loves it, doesn't he? I think Wilson probably is one of those players that if you're an opposition fan, I can imagine you quite dislike him because he's got that bit of shithousery. He's got that like trying to wind people up, always getting stuck in. Well,
you seen him with the keeper?
Always like on the keeper.
I was going to say this.
He's still on the edge of the box. Still on the edge of the box. It's like, as long as the keeper's walking towards him, he's not doing that. He's standing on the edge of the box all day. Because the keeper walks towards him, and like you say, he's a proper shit. Even does things like if the ball goes out or the keeper gets it, he gives them a little nudge on the shoulder or something like that. Just like he just fucking niggles at them all the time and bites at them. It's good to watch. Like he knows what he's doing. He's experienced enough to know what he's doing.
You don't really see it anymore when people are like jumping in front of keepers out. Every single time he's just trying to piss them off. I think he got a booking for maybe last game.
Last game,
he
last game,
He raised his foot though, didn't he? So.
I think that's what he does. He just like trails a little leg. But
when did that rule come in though? Because you used to be able to challenge for the ball if the keeper had it in one hand. The keeper used to have it in two hands.
It's one of those. Even if keepers throw the ball in the air to kick it, you can't pinch it out the air anymore either. Like you can't even do that. And same with the 6-second rule. It doesn't even exist anymore.
Aye.
Trying to hold it for like that. And Bazanu was holding it for about 20 seconds at a time in the first half when it was 0-0. You could tell he was trying to play a bit of time out. Like,
to be fair, Nick Pope does that as well. Like he holds it for about 20 seconds.
Aye.
So Kieran Trippier went down about 5 or so minutes before half time. And I think this came at the same time as the El NUFC miss. I think he was stretching to try and keep up with El NUFC and pulls his hammy. So we'll talk about both of those because I think it was Tom who picked him out as a potential player for Southampton that could do some damage. He should have probably buried that, shouldn't he?
Oh, just sitter, absolute sitter,
yeah, massive sitter, right?
He like the ball gets sort of like trapped under his foot. He gets caught on top of it.
Do you think that's due to Trippier being so close to him, or is he kind of left?
I just think it's him. Yeah, like Trippier did like slide in, and you seen that. That's when he like tweaked his hammy a bit, and I held my breath. Like I thought he was getting taken off at half time. Even after the miss, he seemed to be like hobbling around a bit. He was a bit gingerly running around till half time. So yeah, I was shocked that he came out the second half and thought that was my fantasy clean sheet down the shitter.
It's the same thing happened. Was it against Villa? That exactly same thing happened, where he sort of pulled up slightly with his hammy, and you thought, "Oh fucking hell, here we go." He went off the pitch. I don't know, tiny bit of treatment. He was back on and finished the game. It was basically exactly the same that happened.
Yeah, I don't think it was his hammy that time though. I think he got a knock.
Oh, I'm sure it was his hammy. Like positive, it was his hammy.
It might have been. Yeah, you might be right.
But he just came. He obviously just overstretched it. Came back on. He was fine.
Did the TV pan to Gareth Southgate when you were watching it? He's like trying to keep a straight face, but inside he's just like
imagine, man, fucking hell.
So yeah, like you said, Trippier comes out at second half looking fine, but Wilson doesn't come out and Chris Wood comes on. So, what were your thoughts at half time when you see Chris Wood warming up and coming on for the second half?
Shite.
Panic.
Yeah. Obviously, we'd heard with the rumours midweek that Wilson was like carrying this bug or whatever.
Yeah.
So when you seen him on the team sheet to start the game, you're thinking, right, he's ready to go, like he's all good. But yeah, you just didn't see him himself first half. Like he wasn't
Quiet,
really
wasn't
influencing the game much at all. Yeah, he was quiet, real quiet.
I think a lot of people have panicked like when he went off.
Wait, that's the thing.
Were you worried about his World Cup chances, or just worried about the game?
Nah, couldn't. I'm not. It sounds selfish. I couldn't give a fuck about his World Cup chances as long as he's fit for Newcastle.
To be honest,
I want him to go to the World Cup
win.
for him. Be great for him to go
Yeah.
because it's his only chance now. It's his last chance. But in the selfish point of view for Newcastle United, I do not want him to go.
Well, it'll be like a training camp. He'll barely play any minutes.
He's not going to play now. Of course, he's not going to play. But still, with a player that's made of fucking Weetabix, you need him to stay at home and have a little break, a little warm summer camp where they're going to Saudi and all that. You just want to literally wrap him in cotton wool. One more game to get to the break, and then it's.
I think as
it's
well,
a big thing,
as long as he doesn't get injured before the World Cup, I think in his head he'll at least be like, well, I've put in like good performances, I've stayed fit, and the England manager didn't pick me. There's not a lot more I can do. Whereas if he picks up an injury, he's always like, after he retires, and that he's always going to be like, injuries held me back, and I never reached my potential, kind of thing. So I really hope he can stay fit.
Yeah, he's done everything he can to put himself in the picture.
It's out of his hands, isn't it? The whole fitness thing.
Yeah, it's whether Southgate wants him or not. That's what comes down to now.
It was a bit of a relief though when you seen him, obviously because he came on at half time, and then you seen the camera pan to the bench, and there was Wilson sat on the bench watching the games. You thought, oh, thank fuck for that. He's not in the treatment room getting bandaged up and out like that. So it was like, all right, okay, then it's obviously just because he's had a bit of illness. He's a bit under the weather. He's not 100%. So fair enough, and fair play to Chris Wood as well. Came on and stepped up.
And to be fair, the first half we weren't at our best at all. Like we really didn't play that well. There was a lot of stray passes. We weren't really creating much. So it was all like in the balance a bit going into half time as well. So when Chris Wood comes on, you're thinking, oof.
Yeah, who's going to put the ball in the net?
Exactly, aye.
Well, they came at us as well at the start of the second half. They actually started to really take the game to us, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And it was so Botman makes that terrible pass, which is obviously uncharacteristic of him. We've not seen it in a Newcastle United shirt. I think he goes to spray it out to the right and scuffs it. I don't know exactly what he was trying to do.
Yeah, I thought he went to play it through the air, and it went sort of straight, didn't it, across the grass?
Oh, it was
definite fluff, like aye.
But we got a let off there because they broke, and it was a huge chance, and it ends up falling to Che Adams, who I think he takes it on the volley or the half volley, and he should be getting that really at least on target. Huge let off.
He made a good connection on it, to be fair. Like, I thought it was dropping in the bottom corner. I was very relieved to see it drop past the far post. Like, but yeah, we seem to be riding the luck, like, lately. Like, even when we're not at our best and they get chances, whereas we're really clinical. I don't think other teams are as much against her. So that El Yunusi chance and the Che Adams chance, like, it could have really flipped the game on its head at the time. So we did get off lucky.
Hassan Hootel actually said that as well in his post-match interview. He said, "Oh, that's the difference because they were clinical with their finishing."
Well, that's the difference between us now and us, say, like, I don't know, 2 months ago or whatever, when we're playing like Palace and Bournemouth and stuff as well. And we didn't start the season very clinical, and now we just seem to be deadly. Like, I think we actually only had 4 shots on target, and we scored.
I think it was 4, maybe 4 on target, 4 scored.
Yeah,
Keeper didn't make a save.
So no, he didn't, did he? And was he the youngest keeper to ever play in the Prem or something like that? I'm sure there was some sort of stat. Well,
he's another one of the City players they got in. I think
he didn't have a good game, did he?
not great. I don't think he's kept a clean sheet since he came in.
It's hard when you're playing for Southampton, though, I suppose. He had no chance with the next goal. So the big man, Chris Wood, steps up, spins around, picks out bottom corner. I was absolutely buzzing.
I was delighted for him. Like, the thing is, he wasn't even looking at the goal when he took the shot. He was looking at the ball, spun on a sixpence, and just dropped it in the bottom corner. I was really happy for Chris Wood as well, because he does get a lot of stick from, I reckon, Newcastle fans. Obviously, the big price tag on his head. So yeah, fair play. Like, extended the league.
It was a cracking finish. Like, when you can't, like you say, I think everyone was buzzing for. I think he was buzzing for himself as well. You know.
Oh yeah.
He needed it. Like, he definitely needed it, because like you said, he has been getting a lot of grief saying, "Oh, you know, he'd be away in the January window or in the summer, whatever." But it's like, well, he's still fighting for his place. At least he hasn't tools down and out like that. He knows he's not in the starting lineup. He knows he's a fringe player, but you could say he was buzzing. So for him to be buzzing just to score a goal like that, who he hasn't scored in ages against, no disrespect Southampton, but it was only against Southampton who are 2-1 up. So it's like, well, he's still buzzing with that, which obviously means a lot to him to score for us. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it was actually 2-0 at that point, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, it was 2-0, guy, because it was 3-1 when they scored now. Sorry, 3-0 when they scored.
Perfect timing as well, because you'd imagine he might be starting the cup game. So to give him that confidence going into that, makes it a bit easier for Eddie to make that decision as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Isaac injured and Wilson potentially recovering from a bug. There's no way Wood won't start against Palace on Wednesday. And the fact that, like, I think Eddie does want to take the cup seriously as well. He's not just going to put like a bunch of kids in. Like, he does want to win this match. He does want to get through. So hopefully Chris will go in with a bit of confidence to win on Wednesday. Hopefully put in a good performance again.
I just want to say
wondering whether Eddie.
Sorry, go on, Sam. Go on.
I was wondering whether Eddie would be tempted to bring Maxi in and start him up front. You know, he's done that in the past where he's towards the end of the game he's put him up top. Yeah. But now that Wood's scored, I think he'll be up top.
Yeah, I wouldn't even risk Maxi being on the bench myself. Like, well, it's more minutes for him, isn't it? Get up the fitness, up the speed, but we've only got one game.
The last thing, he's not going to the World Cup, so he's going to have 6 weeks off like, either way, so there's no harm giving him a run, try and get him some minutes back in his legs.
Well, I reckon. That's it. I think it'd be interesting to see if Joe Linton gets a game. Obviously, would be suspended. I think he was a massive miss on Sunday. There was especially that first half. I thought there was a huge hole, more of a defensive hole in midfield. On the attack, right? Okay, we're pushing forward, but I thought just sort of sat in that centre circle. I think Joe Linton was a massive miss to just slow the game down, get possession of the ball. I'd be glad to see him back, whether it's on against Palace or whether it's next Saturday, because he was a big miss.
Yeah, I think the big thing with Big Joe is getting the ball back in it. It's like regaining possession and breaking up the play. That's what we were not really seeing that we used to.
He's just a fucking nuisance. Like, he must be horrible to play again.
Yeah, he's just a fucking unit, isn't he?
He's a unit. Like, he's like everywhere on the pitch, and he's got big long legs. Well. Aye. And then when he breaks, you kind of get round him. So when he's driving forward with the ball after he's won it, you kind of get round him.
He's a proper steam train, isn't he?
Like, proper.
Although Joe Willock, for me, had a really, really good game.
Class.
And some of his driving runs, and then we'll come on to his goal.
Was it actually his pass that put Murphy in for Wood's goal as well? It was him driving forward which put him in. So again, like I said last week, it's not that, like he doesn't get any goals or assists for it, but like he created that chance. Like he put the ball where it needed to be, and we made it 2-0 from it.
That's definitely his attribute, isn't it? Driving with the ball. He doesn't half carry that ball. Like he doesn't look like he's powerful. He doesn't look it. He doesn't look powerful and strong and everything like that. But when he runs with the ball, he holds players off. He's got a big stride on him, and he covers ground with that ball. Like he's a big asset to our attack.
Strides.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Well, so his goal, Kieran Trippier's ball, is like just perfection in it. And
it's what about his first before the ball though? It's his first touch. Because he was going for a 50-50 in his touch just to take the ball past, and then his second pass. That was fucking.
His touch was immense. It
was absolutely magical.
I quite rate like the Southampton centre backs as well. Like they're both big units, like Salisu and Bella Kotchop. But before the goal, Bruno he lost the ball on the edge of the box. Like he was dancing around in the box, and he'd done a bit too much. Tried to poke it back to I think Botman. He had to make a tackle, and then that's when Trippier just takes the ball out of defence and just slots it through. It's unreal ball.
Yeah. What about his finish though as well?
He just pokes it in, isn't he?
It was the slightest of touch.
Yeah, he just gets his toe on it, just rolls it in the far corner. Class.
In the after match interview as well, he even says he's kind of laughing as he says it. I was happy to toe poke it in.
Yeah, but he had an interview before that though, didn't he? With was it whether it was for the Premier League or what? And he was saying, I feel like I've been playing well, and he said I've been playing well, but I need to start adding goals to my game, and for him to do that in the very next game, it'll do his confidence wonders.
Yeah, hopefully that'll get him rolling, won't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to mention, because I think at this point the subs start coming on. We definitely see Manquillo and Anderson come on. I know St. Max and Shelby came on before the end of the game. I'm not sure if they came on before Southampton's goal. Don't know if you remember.
They came on before. Shelby and Max came on before, and then Manquillo and Anderson came on I think about 10 minutes to go.
I think Manquillo and Anderson had a bit of a mix-up for the goal.
Mm-hmm. I still can't work out what happened.
I think everyone was out of position, I think.
Because Manquillo's a left back when the ball goes in.
Yeah, him and Bernard kind of switched.
Burn come absolutely sliding in through torrential rain. It just basically went into the stand. It was so funny,
It was the Sol Campbell, the never-ending slide tackle.
He just always Burns just comes sliding from fucking miles away. He just keeps on going. It was funny,
but it was bad defending by us because we're totally just out of position. Nobody knows where they are. It's harsh on Anderson because he's almost in a right back position, which is nowhere near where he plays. So he kind of looks at fault for the goal, but you can't really blame him.
Just a lack of concentration, want it switch off.
Yeah, and then Manquillo is not where he should be. So, and then but also the lad who scores the goal, it's quite a decent personal goal as well. It's good feet, good finish.
Great finish.
So, obviously we're at 3-1 now, so it was disappointing, and you could see the likes of Botman's absolutely furious to have lost the clean sheet.
The clean sheet.
Yeah, I mean, never really worried that there was going to be a comeback because it's so late in the game.
No. It was just a complete cock-up from our side of things. It was what you said. Everyone was out of position. It was a complete switch off.
We make the subs and then we kind of fall apart. So I don't know if it's
happened against Fulham as well.
Yeah.
A couple of defensive subs and we're all hour again.
So do you think that shows the problem we have with depth? So as soon as we're not playing that sort of pool of maybe 13 players that we swap around the first 11, we suddenly look like a much worse team? Or do you think it's just that we're not very good at reacting to like new players coming on and like setting up positionally to those little tweaks that we might have to make depending on the players who are on?
Well, clearly, like, we do have a lack of depth. Like, our bench is filled with players that we still had from championship season, for example. Like the likes of Mankiw, Lascelles, Shelby, like
Richie.
Full of. Does Richie even make the bench?
I don't think he did, but he's just fucking that's our depth.
And like Ryan Fraser, like you've got these players who had in the championship yet, like 5 years ago, who we've still got at the club and we're still relying on them to obviously play some minutes because you can't have starting 11 or 13 players, as you said, playing 90 minutes every single game. So you need these players to come help out, especially with
we're a top 3 club. We're a top 3 club, and that's our bench
for now.
It's funny as well because we were just talking in the last episode about how Mankiw was like disappeared and he's like the forgotten man, and then he comes back to.
He was dead.
But do you think that's hurt his chances to play in the cup?
I wouldn't say it's hurt his chances. Fucking hell,
No.
It could well be. Has he even come on this season? I don't even think he has he? Sure, he was
I think
injured
that's
at the
the
start.
second time I've seen him.
So I don't think it's hurt his chances. I think it's earned him many chances to come on. But I think we're going to see a bit of a shake-up in defence, like Matty Target, Sells, and probably Burden maybe is a fullback. I don't know, but you know what? He probably will. He probably will come on as right back because we don't have Kraft. Trips won't play in the cup.
See, I'm not sure on that. I think Trips might start, but just because of he gives you so much more than just like right back. And also, if you remember the Tranmere game, like he totally changed the game when he came on.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Before
we finish up on this game, there's still one goal to go, and that's the one from. It's another great finish, and he just sort of passes it almost into the back of the net.
It just emphasises we need for like a number 6 to come in who just sits there all game, so Bruno can push forward a bit more. Because whenever he does push a bit further forward, he gets amongst the goals and assists all the time. He can like.
Do you think that was because Shelby came on that he allowed him that bit more freedom to get up and then he scored?
Yeah, clearly, because that's what happened the back end of last season when he was pushing forward as well. That's when Shelby was playing and sitting a bit deeper and sitting right in front of the back four, which did allow Bruno to get forward a bit more, and he was scoring every game.
We were literally just talking as well before, and I was like, fuck's sake, I've got Bruno in my fantasy football team, but he just doesn't get your points. We're saying because he's taking Shelby's position, he just doesn't get your points. Shelby comes on and Bruno bags. It's like, well, that's obviously why.
Sure, that was about half time as well.
I was like, I'm going to turf him out my team here, like, he comes and scores. That's him staying in for another week.
He's had a couple of assists recently as well, though, Bruno. I don't think he's doing bad points-wise.
Oh,
I think it's just because he can do a lot better when someone like Shelby's.
Yeah, like the points he was getting towards the end of last season.
Exactly.
Crazy though, isn't it? All right, so yeah, that's the wrap up on the game at 4-1. Unless you guys can think of anything else, I've got a few things to talk about, which I don't know when exactly that happened, but
I was just going to say there, it 3-1, and it was 90 minutes, and we still did not stop pressing. We didn't. We still wanted another goal. Back in the day, we'd go 1-0 up and we'd fucking defend for the rest of the game. But it's into the net. Like obviously Bruno's goal was what 92nd, 93rd minute or something like that. We're still pressing, still trying to get that extra goal. Our fitness levels are through the roof. The boys, it's fucking lashing down with rain, and they've obviously had a bit of travel. I know they've gone the night before and all that, but they've had a bit of travel, night in the hotel, whatever. And just does nothing phases them. They just do not stop running. Willock did not stop running that whole fucking game.
Oh, we not mentioned Sean Longstaff in that sentence?
Longstaff as well. Oh my God, how like to put a disrespect that we've missed him out because he was like again another workhorse. Not a pretty one, a dirty old shaggy pit pony, but he did not fucking stop.
That's the dirty, like.
Less of
out the mains him, like.
He's young as fuck, Longstaff.
Nice 25.
No, actually, he was the next thing I was going to come on to because I thought he had a great game.
Yeah.
Like you say, though, it's one of them that goes under the radar again, but I thought he played really, really well. There's a couple of crosses he put in. He was in the build-up to Miggy's goal, but
could have scored.
The ground he covers.
I'm sure, yeah, he had a good chance.
Yeah, he's head out. He's sort of a diving head, went over the bar.
Yeah. He arrives in the box really well for that, but then he just gets underneath it. It's a shame because he should have probably scored that. And then he got another chance that he probably should have scored, which would have been offside, but you can tell he's just not got his shooting boots on really. But
shooting bat,
yeah,
just
shooting box.
He's got his shooting bat with him.
That performance.
I wanted to ask you about Dan Burns' performance because Gareth Southgate's in the crowd again, and you'd like to think Burns making a late push to make this World Cup. And for me, I wouldn't say a bad game, but he was
he's had better.
Very average for his standards.
Yeah. He's had better games.
You had the young Theo Walcott tearing past him a few times.
25-year-old Theo Walcott.
Hi, youngin. But like it just like proves that like we weren't really at our best on Sunday, and we still put 4 goals past Southampton away from home. And it's not the first time we've came away from an average performance with a load of goals. Brentford, we weren't at our best.
Yeah. Eddie Howe said that actually, didn't he? In his interview, he said, for us to come away with a result like that, after playing like that, it's a massive plus.
Yeah, I thought we were actually, for our standards, we were probably pretty poor today.
Southampton was shite. Southampton was shit.
Yeah. And, like, if they'd been more clinical, like, we could have been a couple down. But
yeah, definitely
missing those big chances. Do you think the travel makes a difference? Like, it's obviously a long trip for us.
I think so.
But everyone down that end's got to do the same to us coming up, I suppose. So,
well, I'd imagine they've flown down. You'd think they've flown down. Christ, they would have. So it's flying. Even after a little flight, you're always a bit fucking groggy after a little flight. A night in a hotel, away from the family, you're not in your home comforts. It's got to have some effect, I think. Like,
but I guess with like sports science nowadays, like they'll prepare as well as they can do for something like this. Like,
yeah.
I think an away game obviously does have its effects because there's clear difference in home form and away form for teams. But I don't think particularly Southampton, more so than any London game, for example, will have more of an effect on the players.
Yeah.
But
when you're saying about the flight, I was kind of imagining them sat on a bus for like 8 hours, but
I can't see that happening.
Yeah, you're probably right these days.
I'm sure they flew to Wolverhampton, so they're definitely flying to Southampton.
Yeah, I've still got the images of them in the like fucking minibuses.
Minibuses at York. Fucking hell, imagine.
So we obviously touched on Botman's like bad pass for their chance, but I think he had a few shaky passes in this game, but his actual defending, he was still solid when he like solid as rock, and then recovery runs, sliding in. But are you worried at all about the stray passes that came into his game? Then?
Can't be, can you? It's only a pass. Everyone has an off game.
Yeah.
How many times do you see like the top 6 teams get themselves into trouble by passing out from the back?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just a price to pay for the style of play that the show on the pitch. You can't expect a lad who's 22 to make a perfect pass every single time. He's just human. I mean, sometimes he doesn't look like he's fucking human because he's a massive unit, but he's still human. No, I'm not taking anything from like a couple of straight passes or even not.
Yeah, exactly. Just an off game, you know what I mean?
A poor game, yeah.
Scratch it off. See, scratch it off.
Yeah,
another 1-4-1, you know what I mean?
I think the surface was actually pretty tough to play on as well.
It's fucking
it seemed to be
It'd be like an ice rink.
Yeah.
Man. Fucking brutal.
And let's just talk about the injured players who we've got returning now. So we obviously see Shelby come on. We see Maxi come on.
He hit a couple of nice passes in, by the way. He sprayed some nice balls about like he used to.
I feel so sorry for John Joe because I think this season was going to be potentially his best season in black and white shirt. The way he was in pre-season, how fit he looked, working under Eddie Howe.
Mm-hmm.
So I really hope with this break and everything, he can come back and finish the season strong because I think, like you're saying as well with him, if he sits in a 6 and plays to the best of his potential, lets Bruno push on, like, we're already third. Like, imagine getting that midfield rocking.
It's going to be very hard. Eddie Howe picking a midfield, by the way, when John Joe's fit, and you've got Longstaff playing well, Willock playing very well, Joe Linton, Bruno. Like, what the fuck do you do? Even Anderson coming into a bit form, but I suppose Anderson's
especially if
Maxi.
If Maxi comes back on the left and starts playing well again, you don't have the option of pushing Joe Linton out to the left.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it even harder.
It's some headache, that, like.
And Miggy's obviously secured that right-hand side, but it's obviously a quality problem to have, and I guess you just tweak it depending on the opposition and
rotation. But that's going to add the squad depth that we've been fucking missing so much.
That just proves that we still need to add, because this is us with just Isak injured now, pretty much. So we can't really afford to have anyone out. Otherwise, the depth just disappears instantly.
Who have we got out? Isak, Kraft,
Richie.
Fucking bollocks of Richie. Like, we're not counting him.
I think Darlow's back, so he could be a shout.
We've got Karius, and I'd like to see Karius get a shout in the cup game. To be honest, like,
I would. His contract's up in January, so
yeah, well, exactly. Just give him a fucking game. Like,
have a game for it.
I can't wait till he drops a fucking clanger on Wednesday. Like, just hides it the goal or something. Fucking hell.
He's done it in Champions League final, so
this is it, exactly.
4th round cup games can't be the worst day of his life.
But I'm trying to. We don't have that many players out injured now.
He's out injured.
No. Yeah, just the two Swedes.
I think Dummett's like injured, isn't he? Because he's permanently injured, but.
Is he?
I think that. Yeah, well, he's coming back from an injury. Eddie Howe said
he's mate. I think he just doesn't make the squad.
Memphis
he's back. No, he was injured because he was seeing a specialist. But it's the same injury he picks up, I think, every time. So I would imagine would probably just run his contract out now.
Yeah, so allegedly Dominic got a calf injury. Matt Ritchie's got a calf injury. Then we've got Isak and Kraft obviously out as well.
Mm. When's Kraft back? Because he's been out with fucking. It was Torquay, wasn't it?
His
injury.
Full season.
Yeah, it was a bad one, wasn't it? It was a real bad one.
Torquay, by the way.
Torquay, yeah.
Who was it?
Tranmere.
Oh, Tranmere. No, where the fuck I got Torquay from?
He's just on his holidays. On Torquay.
Well, Christmas, Torquay. Okay, let's end that part straight away.
By the way, Brazil squad out. Bruno's in. Joe Litton's out.
That's a good shout, man.
It's a shame, like, isn't it?
He wasn't going to get in, was he? You know what I mean?
No, I don't think he ever was.
He's never going to get in a World Cup squad. Fair enough. He needs to start some like international friendlies and shit like that. He's never going to get in the fucking. He's not even capped, is he?
Yeah, he's got time money as well. Like after this World Cup,
exactly.
If he gets integrated into the squad.
We all know he's fucking miles better than Fred, but Fred's just got it's just the experience and the fucking Man United and all that shit. That's why he's got in. Joe Linton hasn't He hasn't got one cap, so he's not gonna go into the fucking World Cup squad, is he? Unfortunately, I think we all know he should be there, but I don't think it's never going to happen like that, really, is it?
I think the Brazil manager as well. They were talking about him on the TV when I was watching the game.
Tite.
The commentator called him Cheech.
Yeah,
So I don't know
yeah.
if we've just been saying his name wrong. We're saying Tite, but
Tite. Not a fucking clue.
Can barely speak English, never mind Portuguese.
So we talked about Joe Willock earlier. We talked about his goal. I think he was my man of the match. The way he played his like general game, adding the goal in as well. You touched on the fact he did that interview, Pete, midweek, but there's a couple of things because he did one midweek and he did one after the game. In the midweek one, he said he feels like he's an adopted Geordie now, which I think is great to hear because he took his time to kind of settle in and
he struggled, didn't he? It was actually quite sad.
His family's moved. His family's moved up now.
His dad moved up, I think. It was actually quite sad to hear that because obviously when he came on loan, so he was always going back to London. Then when he did take the plunge up here, I think he just had his house on his own. I think he had his mate up, but he's come to the other end of the country. Like it's fucking hard for him. I think he looked in his interviews. He's not full on. He's not like fucking in your face and all like that. He's very quiet, and you couldn't help. Me personally, I couldn't help feel sorry for him when he was saying, "Oh, I just wasn't very happy. I was away from home and all that." So he got his dog. His dad came up, and he says it's helped him now. Which I think, obviously we all know Newcastle is the friendliest place in the country. Do you know what I mean? So it's obviously just because he was a long way from home. He's still a very young lad, but it's nice that he's finally settling down, and especially that he can say, "Oh, he's adopted Geordie." That's fucking music our ears, isn't it? We love hearing stuff like that.
Yeah, he was saying as well how the fans here like treat him so much better, and like everyone's so friendly, and even when they're not winning, like in the bad times and stuff, like people are still just being nice to him and like giving him support and that. Whereas when he was in London, people can be quite like, I don't know the term he used, but basically just not very friendly towards him.
It's when the tourists don't get their money's worth, do
they? All the Man U fans down there fucking giving him grief. He also mentions in his after game interview that he's been working closely with Eddie Howe, especially on arriving in the box from midfield. So he was saying that kind of paid off in his goal. I was wondering if Sean Longstaff's been doing the same stuff as well, because he obviously arrived nicely for that header that he missed. So it's good to hear that these players are actually doing what we think they're doing, and they're really working on the game with Eddie and the coaching staff. And it's on specific things as well. It's not just like general play. They're picking out things that they can improve in the game, and they're working on them. And then it's coming to fruition as well. So I was really, really happy to listen to that. Both of those interviews, actually, because as well you can tell from earlier on in the season or last season, when he's doing an interview, he wasn't very confident, and he's not like the best speaker. But now you can see he's more relaxed, and he's coming out with more stuff, and it's just good to see.
I actually listened to briefly today. Eddie Howe's released Jake Humphries released a podcast with Eddie Howe. It's not really about Newcastle. It's just about Eddie Howe and his life and stuff like that. But there was one bit when they were talking about Newcastle, and Eddie Howe says he gives every one of his players one-on-one time at some point in the week or in the month, whatever. But he works one-on-one with every single player, which is obviously what you were just alluding to there, helping them get run into the box and stuff like that. It's obviously, it speaks volumes of Eddie Howe's man management.
Well, know he's so meticulous that like he leaves like no stone unturned. So like those little nuances of like the game, whereas there might be just midfielders, but he wants to make sure they're tackling, driving the ball forward, arriving late. Like, he's going to be working on everyone with all those different facets of the game. And as you said, it's shown on the pitch.
Yeah, I only saw a short clip from that podcast. I'll have to go back and watch the full thing, but
it's just been released today, mate.
All right. Well, I saw a clip yesterday in work. Must have been a teaser or something, but he was saying how he like wants to improve players.
Yeah,
and that's why like he was so happy to come into Newcastle, and like there was players there who actually are wanting coaching, which is obviously because they've been starved of it for so long. Yeah. But he was kind of mentioning the fact that it's because his career didn't sort of pan out the way he wanted. He never really reached where he was trying to get in his career. So
yeah, that's exactly what he said.
A real passion to get the most out of every single player who wants it. So
that's exactly what he said. He was saying that he says, "Oh, some people think you want to win trophies and you do for the money." I mean, everyone will go, "Oh, it's easy enough you saying that when you get paid a fortune," but he genuinely sounded like he just wants to coach people to get to the best of their ability. And fuck me, the proof's in the pudding at Newcastle. Look at okay, we've invested, but look at the players that he's brought on. Players like your Joe Linton, Emil Kraft, could say Murphy to an extent,
Longstaff,
Willock, Longstaff. So the proof's in the fucking pudding, and they're all players that were already here. And I believe actually Jacob Murphy listens to Jake Humphrey's podcasts. So he was saying, and there's a lot of Eddie Howe was saying he listens to these podcasts all the time. They're called I can't remember what they're called. High performance. That's it. High performance. There you go, Jake Humphrey promoting your fucking podcast. High performance.
To all our 2 viewers.
and it's all about like mental awareness and mental strength and stuff like that. Very much similar, I think, to, I don't know if you guys listen to him, to the way Ant Middleton, who did the SAS Who Dares Wins, very much similar to the way his persona, he goes on. It's all about mental health and mental strength, and it's all in the mind and stuff like that. It is quite interesting to hear what he's got to say. It's not just football, this, football, that. It's very, I mean, we're sort of going off topic here, but when Eddie Howe first came in, he made a point of finding out loads of different things about each player's family, birthdays, issues they've had in life. He actually said in the podcast that every single, I don't know if it's every week or once a month, one player tells their story of their life, where they've came from, what they've had to go through, so that all the players feel like one family, that they know everything about each other, instead of having their own little cliques here and there. And it was interesting to hear the stuff he does outside of like the footballing element. But it just shows how much of a fantastic manager Eddie Howe is, and a person, to be honest.
One like final point out of that, you've heard with the recruitment that the most important thing about players we get in is character. Mm-hmm. And when we had our big like recruitment drive last January, when it was like Eddie doing half of the like recruitment himself, because we didn't have like all the backroom staff set up yet, he had a list of characters that he wanted in. Mm-hmm. And then obviously they're all unreal footballers as well, but it just shows that like the people that he wants in are people who want to win, who want to be here, who want to do well for themselves and for the club, and they'll work hard at it. And I've got no doubt that like any players that we do bringing in, or who we're looking at, they're going to be good characters to add to this like unreal atmosphere that we've got in the club and the squad at the moment.
Yeah, and there's a word you mentioned there, Pete, as well. Family. Like, I've noticed Joe Willock said that quite a few times in his interview. He mentioned family, whether it was talking about like the club and the supporters being a big family, or he was kind of like talking about the squad as a family, which it was nice to hear as well. It obviously shows that it's working. Whatever they're doing is like, it is making them feel like one big unit.
Well,
let's move on then to...
Just quickly, choosing the photos after every win. in the changing rooms. Look at the faces on them.
Yeah, and then it's the staff as well. Like, there's staff members there who we don't even know what they do.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just as involved. Let's move on to just briefly talk about the cup game. We've obviously done a full episode on it, but after watching the Southampton game, is there anything different you're thinking ahead of the Palace game? I think my only thing is, I feel like we'll definitely put a strong team out. Not full strength Premier League, I don't think, but I think it will be a strong team. I think Chris Wood will come in, but apart from that, we'll see some more first team players, definitely. Who else do you think will come in? I think Lascelles and Matty Target. Potentially the keeper swaps. But I think apart from that, we might see a strong midfield, I think.
Yeah, I think probably quite similar. I think we'll make maybe 4 or 5 changes. I think Wilson, Trippier, the guys who've had little knocks, I think they might take a rest. As you said, Lascelles probably comes in. But I think we're going to go for it, and I think we'll put out a good side, which should be good enough on the day to beat Palace.
Yeah, I think Shaw is going to get dropped. I think Lascelles will come in for Shaw because Shaw gets a little niggle every now and then. Botman's young, he can play. Burn, solid enough. But I think does Manquillo come in? I don't know. Target definitely comes in for me. It will be very interesting to see whether Shelby starts and then gets pulled off after, 60 minutes or something like that. What are you laughing at, Sam? Because I said pulled off, you fucking child. Like you say, Chris Wood comes in. I'd love to see Elliot Anderson get a start.
Yeah.
Love to see that. Just to show what he can do. Give him a good load of minutes to start. So he's in in the game from the start. Doesn't have to worm his way into it, and do you know what I mean? And just to see what he can do, because we haven't seen what he can do in a starting lineup at Newcastle. He played for Bristol Rovers, but we haven't seen what he can do at Newcastle and at St James's. You'd thrive on it.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see if he does get a start as well, whether we start him, like, say, on the left or as part of the midfield 3. Maybe, like, the left 8 or whatever. But, yeah, to be honest, I'm looking forward to the game. It's a better time for me as well. So, be able to get up and watch it, and I'll be on the group chat, rinsing Murphy if he gets a game. So Tom should be back for the next episode, which will be the review of the cup game. He's actually at the game, isn't he?
Yeah, Tom's got the Palace game.
Be good to get his perspective on that. And
Prontoni.
Do you know where he's sitting?
More than likely the Palace club, mate.
Oh, he'll be getting Prontoni's at half time. Padded seats the lot.
His dad will book his own seats, his own season ticket seats.
Yeah. Well, lads, it's good to catch up with you.
Classmate.
Pleasure.
Like you say, great win, great 3 points. Not the best performance, but that's what you want when you can't put a performance in. Score 4 goals, only concede 1.
Top 4 at Christmas, no matter what.
Away from home. Oh, that's a very good point.
It's also not long until football comes home.
Okay, that one. We might as well say at the end of this, we will be doing some podcasts throughout the World Cup, bringing you World Cup news, England news, but also Newcastle United news from the little trip away. So don't worry, you'll still be getting the content. I know you're tuning in weekly and gagging for it.
Gagging for it.
Right. Lads, I'll catch you for the cup game.
Yes, mate.
See you next time.
Ciao.
See you in a bit, lads.
See ya.
Wanna hear you go.